Hello, today I'm going to talk to you about my living expenses in Vung Tau, Vietnam. Hello and welcome to the channel. My name's Jade. If you're new to this channel, please press the subscribe button and the little bell so you can receive notifications each time I upload a video. For those of you who don't know, I have been living in Vietnam for the last 18 months. Good morning, Vietnam! I chose to live here because it sort of just happened that way. I had been in Thailand for 6 months. I was then in Cambodia for 2. We arrived in Ho Chi Minh and caught a 2-hour bus to Vung Tau. You can catch, it's called a limousine, and it's a sort of luxurious little van and they have 11 people go in it. You pay about $7 or $8 and it will take you down to Vung Tau. So we decided we were going to stay here for a few weeks and decided we really liked the place, and 18 months later I'm still here. Vung Tau has a population of about 525,000 people. It's very quiet, and especially during the week it's ultra quiet. It can get busy on the weekends because it's like Ho Chi Minh's playground. They come down on the weekends, they use the beach, they stay in all the accommodation, and it can get rather full. I personally live on the beachfront. I pay 10 million dong per month for my unit, which is about $430 US, and that's about $650 Australian. For that, I have a 1-bedroom apartment, and it's really spacious. It's about 120 square meters. I have a kitchen. I have 2 bathrooms, which they are real Vietnamese bathrooms. In Vietnam, they don't have fancy bathrooms unless they're westernizing the place. It's just basically you walk in, you have the shower, and you just mop it straight after. I actually really like them. I didn't like them when I first come to Vietnam because the Westerner in me were used to having sort of nice, sort of a fancier sort of bathroom. But they're so easy to keep clean. They're actually really practical and they're really smart. So I actually like them. So we have 2 bathrooms, a bedroom, a large balcony, which we can oversee the sea. So I wake up and see the ocean every morning, which is wonderful. You do not have to pay this kind of price. You can pay as little as 2.5 million dong per month for a place. So you'd be looking at about $100 a month. And you can stay in a place they're sort of clean, they're in like a shed, so to speak, and it's just like a room, and then you've got like a ladder, and then you've got sort of another platform there, and you can stay there for 2.5 million a month. You don't have to pay the extravagant prices, and if you're happy to live like that, if you just want to come over here, I know a lot of people in the vegan movement message me over and over about the cost of living, and I'm just telling you what I pay, but there are far cheaper accommodation. It just depends on the standard of living that you are prepared to live in. For me, I've been here for 18 months. When I first came here, we stayed in a smaller apartment, which we paid 7 million dong a month for. I just got tired of living in a little apartment, and I just wanted a little bit more space, and I wanted to live on the waterfront. And for me to pay the extra 3 million, it was worth it because I like waking up. I don't want to wake up and see Vietnam every morning, so to speak. I don't want to see the rubbish, and I don't want to see, people riding their bikes and all that. I didn't want to see the main crunch of Asia every morning. I love waking up and seeing the sea. I can be absolutely anywhere. Not to say I don't like Asia, I do. I love Asia. I wouldn't live here if I didn't. I would be living in my own country. But I just love waking up and seeing the sea. It's just something about it that just says, wow, I love this. And I truly do. Every time I walk out there, I'm just like, I can't believe I live on the waterfront. I just absolutely adore it. So there is definitely a range of different prices that you can find. Now, another question I get asked a lot is, how much do I spend on food? That's really like saying to someone, how long's a piece of string? You can eat in Vietnam, if you chose to, having 3 meals a day at 15,000 dong a meal, 45,000, just under $2. You could eat for $12 a week if you wanted to. If you wanted to, you could eat as cheap as $12 to $14 a week. Because you can get plates of vegan food for $1 at any of the comchays here. If you're non-vegan, you can get street food anywhere if that's the way you want to eat. For me, I personally don't eat that way. So yeah, my cost of living is of course a little bit higher. I predominantly eat a raw vegan diet. So for me, I have to buy my fruit and whatever. But look, if I compare it to Australia, the cost that I spend on fruit is next to nothing. For myself, I probably spend $50 to $60 a week on food. So it's not high at all, and it's nutritious food. I buy seeds, I buy nuts, I buy abundant greens, I buy celery. I have celery juice every morning. I buy beautiful tropical fruits that I just indulge on every day. So I eat well. And I can do that for $50 to $60 a week. So that in itself, yeah, the food is cheap here, but as I said, you can eat as cheap or as expensive as you choose to. It depends on the cuisine. I mean, you could eat far more expensive than I do if you decided you were going to dine out in the finest restaurants every day. So I'm just letting you know what I actually spend. Now, my mobile phone, that costs me $4 a month. I get unlimited data for that. I don't get many phone calls, but who am I going to ring? I really don't have any friends really to ring in Vietnam. And if I need to ring anybody, I ring through an app called Zalo, which is heavily used in Vietnam, and that's free and part of my data. So my mobile phone is extremely cheap. I pay internet. Internet costs me about $4 a month, like Wi-Fi in my apartment, and that's $4 a month. My electricity bill is usually about $20 a month. And look, that's with running an if I run the air conditioner heavily, it might be about 25 to 28. Generally, I keep the windows open and I have the fan on because the wind's just beautiful here and it's lovely. And I'm not big on running the air conditioner except if it's extremely hot and there's no wind. But as you can see, it's not overly expensive for electricity here either. I use an e-bike. So I don't require any petrol, but obviously I'm using a small amount of electricity to run my bike to charge it, but that's how I get myself around town. I don't have a car. I don't think I would ever look at getting a car in Asia. I can't imagine being able to drive here. It would just be really hard with all the motorbikes, and you just see the cars when they drive, they're just like, I think, I'd rather get around on a motorbike. It's just so much easier. So that's my transportation. Another question I get asked is, how do I financially survive here? I teach English in Vietnam, and you require to be native English speaker, of course, and the other thing is you need to have a TEFL certificate. It does help if you have some sort of diploma or a degree. That will help you further, but there is a glut of jobs in Vietnam. English is so huge here. And look, when I first started teaching, I wasn't 100% sure what I had to do. even after I'd got my certification. They're really good. They train you. They have everything you need to teach in most places. I mean, I'm working in places now where I'm actually having to put my own classes and lessons and everything together, but that's come with experience now of knowing what to do. But when you first start out, you can go and work somewhere where they will show you and lead you and teach you exactly what to do. I started off in a kindergarten, and that for me was really good training. And if you want to learn how to teaching young children, because they are a hard audience, if they're not interested, they're not interested. That really taught me about how to get the interest of my students, so to speak. So that was a really good way to learn. I'm now working with teenagers and adults, and I still work with little children as well, so I'm doing the whole range. But that is how I earn money whilst I'm in here. And there's plenty of teaching jobs here. The last thing I have to always ensure is that I have a visa. So generally I leave the country every 6 months. I can get a visa here for 6 months, and you'll probably see often, oh my God, she's in another country again. The reason I have to leave the country is because in order for me to get another visa, I have to leave the country. So that is something I've got to always be mindful of. I've got to be mindful of the fact that I'm going to have to pay for another visa, and I'm going to have to pay to leave the country. If I leave the country, I generally go somewhere new, because I'm not going to just keep going to the same place and just paying to go to the same place. There's no fun in that. I've got to pay to leave the country anyway. So I find somewhere else I want to go. And that's why I'm always planning, where am I going to go next? Where am I going to go next? And at this point in time, I am keeping Vietnam as my base. I love it here. It's so easy to live in. The people are really friendly. It's a very safe country. A lot of people ask me, is it safe for women? I think it's very safe. I ride my motorbike home at 9:30 at night from work by myself, and I do not feel scared. I love Vung Tau as a city. It's a very safe city, and the people are very friendly. So that's one of the main reasons I've kept it as my base. So I generally, I will go to a surrounding Asia country, and I have to pay for a visa letter. A visa letter usually costs me $15, and then it costs me $50 when I come back into the country, and that will last me 3 months. I can then extend that for an additional 3 months, which will cost me another $50, and then after that I have to leave the country. There are different visas you can go on and whatever, and manage to do different things, but this is the way I've chosen it. It's easier for me. It's easier for me to finance, and the other ones are a little bit more difficult to get. So that is probably my best option. When you come into the country, come in on a tourist visa, and after that you can work out what you want to do from there, because you can come in on a 3-month tourist visa, and you can work out from there extending and where you want to go from there. Another question that I get asked all the time is, how do you work here? How do you live here when you don't speak the language? And that's a great question, because I don't speak the language. I'm even learning Vietnamese at the moment, and oh my goodness, I cannot speak the language. It's a very difficult language to learn, and I'm really struggling to learn it. But you do learn body language. You learn to communicate. In the schools, you generally always have somebody with you. So that's basically it. That's all I've got to talk about today. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you have any other questions about my living in Vietnam, or anything you just want to ask me in general, leave a comment below, give it a like, subscribe to my channel, and most importantly, love life, live free, and be kind to the #1 person in your life, you. See you next time.